Imagine a creature that shares nearly 99% of our genetic code. It's a being that can solve complex logic puzzles faster than a human child, fashions its own specialized weaponry, and is capable of conducting organized, multi-year strategic warfare. We often look at chimpanzees and see a cute or lesser version of ourselves, a character in a movie or a clever zoo attraction. But underneath that familiar, hairy face lies a level of cognitive depth and raw, primal power that is both awe-inspiring and frankly terrifying. Why is it that they stayed in the trees while we build skyscrapers? It is a lack of intelligence or simply a different kind of mastery. Biologically speaking, chimpanzees are not just animals. They are our closest living relatives. We didn't evolve from them. Instead, we shared a common ancestor roughly 6 million years ago before our path diverged in the African forest. Think about that. 1.3% genetic difference. The tiny sliver of DNA is the only thing that separates a forest-dwelling primate from our species that built the Great Pyramids and landed on the moon. But don't let our achievements fool you into thinking we are smarter in every way. In the realm of short-term, working memory, humans aren't even in the same league. At Kyoto University, a chimpanzee named Ayumu shocked the world. In the test where numbers flashed on the screen for just 0.2 of seconds, faster than the blink of human eye, Ayumu could recall their exact positions and sequence with 80% accuracy. For humans to do this, they need to be a sapient. The average human volunteer fails almost every time. This suggests a cognitive trade-off. While we're evolved for language and abstract thought, the chimp's brain remained optimized for the immediate high-stakes environment of a jungle where a split-second observation of a predator's tail or a shimmer of a ripe fruit tree means the difference between life and death. Their brains are essentially hardwired for high-speed spatial awareness. In 1960, the scientific world was rocked when a young Jane Goodall observed a chimp she named David Graybird. He was not just picking up a random stick. He was stripping the leaves off to create a smooth, specialized fishing rod for termites. This single observation forced us to redefine man as a tool maker. Since then, we've discovered that their toolkit is far more sophisticated than we've ever imagined. In the Republic of Congo, chimps use tool sets, a thick perforating stick to puncture the hard crust of a termite mound, and a separate slender fishing stick with a frayed tip to mop up the insects. This shows foresight, categorical thinking, and multi-step planning. Even more incredible is the regional culture found among different groups. In the forests of Thai Cote d'Ivoire, chimps are masters of the stone hammer and anvil. But in the savannas of Fongoli, Senegal, where the food is scarcer and the heat is punishing, they've been observed sharpening sticks with their teeth to create spears. They use these spears to hunt galagos, small primates hidden in hollow trees, stabbing them while they sleep. This is the only known instance of a non-human animal consistently making and using a weapon to hunt another mammal. This is not just instinct. It's a craft passed down through generations. Young chimps spend up to 10 years watching their mothers, failing thousands of times before they master the precise strike of a nutcracker or the delicate touch of a termite probe. They aren't just using tools. They are preserving a tribal heritage. We often think of a language as a uniquely human trait, but chimpanzees have a complex system of communication that goes far beyond simple hoots and screams. Researchers have identified at least 66 distinct gestures that chimpanzees use to communicate specific intentions. An open palm means "give me that." A stamp on the ground might mean "stop it." A soft play space, similar to human smile but with teeth covered, signals that a rough and tumble interaction is just a game. But the real breakthrough came when we realized they use intentional communication. They look to see if their audience is paying attention before they make a gesture. If the other chimp doesn't respond, they try a different gesture or move into the other line of sight. While they lack the vocal cords for human speech, their sign language both in the wild and in the labs prove that they have the mental hardware for complex thought. They understand symbols, they can name objects, and they can even express emotions like sad or happy through signs. Chimpanzee society is often described as a real-life Game of Thrones. It is a strictly hierarchical world where the alpha male sits at the top, but his seat is never comfortable. While physical strength is important, a chimp is roughly 1.5 times stronger than a human. Pound for pound, due to the denser muscle fibers, being strongest is not enough to stay in power. The most successful alphas are master politicians. They build alliances with subordinates makes through grooming, which act as a form of social currency. They pay their allies with a high-value food, like a meat from a successful hunt, in exchange for backup when a rival challenges them. Sometimes, two smaller males will form a coalition to take down a massive lone alpha. This political maneuvering is constant. A leader might be dominant today, but if he fails to bribe his supporters with enough grooming or meat, his closest allies might join a rival in coordinated coup. There are even beta males who act as peacekeepers, stepping into a break-up fights and maintain the social fabric. It is a world of calculated friendships, tactical empathy, and sudden, brutal betrayals.